Today, I've got something that every Back to the Future fan absolutely needs in their collection. It's affordable, it's available, and honestly, it's just so cool. It's Jada's 40th anniversary Doc Brown van that comes with a die-cast DeLorean time machine right inside. But I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why you might want to think twice before buying this one. So stick around. Your future depends on it. Hey guys, I'm Rick and welcome back to the Model Car Vault. Now listen, I'm mostly a 118 diecast collector, but I'm also a huge Back to the Future collector. But if you're buying this as a collectible or for its accuracy, you might want to watch the rest of this video. When I saw this for the first time, I was like, wait a minute, Jada, are you telling me you built Doc Brown's van out of cardboard? Well, yes, they did. But the packaging is the star of the show. Jada recreated Dr. Emmett Brown Enterprises' 24-hour scientific services van exactly like the scene from the first movie, as it was when we saw it at Twin Pines Mall. And the DeLorean is literally housed inside this van, just like that iconic moment when Doc unveils the time machine for the first time. But we'll get into that in a minute. Now, the box is all cardboard, but it's surprisingly sturdy. It doesn't feel flimsy or cheap at all. On the sides, you've got the Dr. Emmett Brown branding on the van and a bunch of movie graphics around the base of the box. You got the Back to the Future 40, time machine dates, a little diagram to show that the van opens up and the DeLorean is a die-cast. On the front, you get a printed windshield with visible seats and steering wheel. And at the bottom, a little 40 years license plate. Alright, here's the first thing you should know before buying this. Interestingly, the identical 35th anniversary version had a true limited run of 1,985 units, 1985 of course, and the production number was printed right on the front, which was a cool detail and made it very collectible. But on the 40th anniversary version, well, it still says limited edition, but there are no production numbers printed anywhere on the box. So if you're buying this as a collectible, we have no idea how many of these were produced. Oh hey, smash that like button if you like what you're seeing so far. So back to the van, across the roof it's clean, and at the bottom, well, you got your typical licensing and legal print. And finally at the back is where the action happens. Alright, we're just gonna cut the stickers that seal it off. Alright, so now we should be able to open it up just like the movie. Alright, so you've got this plastic insert that was protecting the DeLorean inside, and it rolls right out as if it's making its first grand appearance at the Twin Pines Mall. It's actually smaller than I thought it was, but we'll get to the car in a minute. Let's talk about what's inside the van. So inside there's a plastic mold that keeps the DeLorean in place. You get this kind of orange-yellow grid print on the floor. Nothing crazy, but it's pretty cool. The focus here is really recreating that moment of Doc slowly lowering the ramp to reveal the time machine for the very first time. It's kind of like a little diorama here, and that alone is worth the price of the entire set. Oh, a really cool feature here is that Jada made the back magnetic, so it could stay closed easily and not open up. Hey guys, before we go any further, if you have any questions about this, let me know in the comments. Alright, let's take the DeLorean out again and take a closer look at it now. So this is Jada's standard 132 scale DeLorean mold, but there's one key difference. See, this is the frosted version, which brings us to the second thing that you should know before buying this. See, the frosted version is only seen when Einstein comes back from a minute of time travel, not when it's in the van. So it's not totally accurate to the film, at least not in this scenario. Jada already has one just like this on the market, so if you already have one, it's pretty identical. Alright, so let's talk about the car itself and look at it in more detail. And we can see that there's a plastic strap that's holding the door shut, so we'll cut that off. I always like to cut it off from the bottom, not to scratch the outside exterior, so that comes off easily. And while we're at the bottom, not much to say here, just says scale 132, Back to the Future, usual licensing, made in China. It does say number 36,848, so I don't know if that means there's at least 36,000 units made of this. I feel like that's a big number, but again, that would not be a limited number. So the first thing anyone's going to want to do with this is open the doors, and they open pretty smoothly and stay open, which is great and actually looks really, really cool. The overall sculpting is pretty solid for its size. The headlights and wiring details are clean, but it does appear to be more toy-like. I do like that they added some color to the time machine components in the back here. There is the out-of-time license plate, which is actually a pretty cool detail too. On the inside though, for a 132 scale car, you can't expect much detail here, and this DeLorean is no exception. It would have been really cool if this came with a mini Einstein that could sit right there on the driver's seat. Alright, speaking of details, the third and final reason you might want to think twice before buying this is that Jada does not include the DMC logos anywhere on this car. Neither on the front, nor on the wheels, nor in the back. But honestly, you're not buying this for the car or for its details. You're buying it for the scene. Oh, and if you're curious to see what a 132 looks like in comparison to other scales, here you go. So you've got a 118, a 124, followed by our 132 frosted version, and this little guy here is a 164. Now they do make other scales, some even bigger and some, believe it or not, even smaller, but these four are the most common scales you'll see for the DeLorean, and actually for most diecasts. But what's great about a 132 scale model is that it fits perfectly in your hand, and that makes for a really great toy size. Alright, now I have to admit, I think the 35-year version was more of a collector's piece because of its limited number run, and because it was more accurate to the film, since it had the clean version of the DeLorean versus the frosted version. Now if I could find one or travel back in time 5 years, I'd probably get that one. But today, for just $20 to $40, this has got to be the coolest, most affordable Back to the Future pieces you can get. And you can probably find it at most toy stores, diecast stores, or anywhere online. Look, even if you're a larger scale collector like me, this is just too good to pass up. The nostalgia, the magnetic ramp, the frosted DeLorean, all of it. If you're a Back to the Future fan, this thing is a must. And if you're not, well, your kids are gonna love it. Hey, if you want to see more cool stuff like this, hit subscribe right here and check out these Back to the Future diecasts. See you next time.